Yo, what's good? It's your boy Old 5 Dynasty. Out and about. Early morning. Heading to work. Excuse me. Still getting over the sickness. I'm over it, but it's like the lingering effects. You know what I'm saying? I got my cup of tea though, right? So today's video is pretty simple, but I think a topic that needs to be talked about, and a lot of people are not talking about it. So I started driving in the car just now. Wasn't even thinking about recording a video. I said, let me search up hip-hop instrumentals just to listen to some beats on the way to work. Maybe one might inspire me and I start spitting some bars. Sometimes I take a break from listening to my own beats just to, you know, have something like cause a spark, you know, like maybe with another producer's beats, something different. I'm going down the list of the beats, and to me the beats were mediocre at best. They weren't great. And these are industry beats. So the thing that got me, a lot of thoughts popped into my head, and I'm like literally skipping through these beats because they weren't doing it for me. The artists that use those beats don't get enough credit for turning those songs into great records. That's number one. The artists that use these instrumental beats in the music industry, doesn't even matter what genre it is, artists do not get enough credit for taking something simple, average at best, mediocre, and turning it into a record. Not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be a hit record. I said a record in general, a record. That goes to show you how deep the creativity is embedded into artists themselves. Okay? That was A. And B, my other thought was, musical producers give themselves too much credit, thinking that what they made is the ish, or what they made, just because they made it, they pretty much sparked the creativity inside of an artist. And I don't necessarily think that's the case, man. I don't think that's the case. I think the artist sparks their own creativity from within them when they hear something. They could literally hear birds chirping outside and make a record to it. So it's not necessarily the producer, to be honest with you guys and you girls. Artists could beat on the table and make a track, make a song. They could just beat on the table and make a record. They don't need your beats, to be totally honest with y'all. But producers give themselves too much credit. And as I'm listening to these beats, there's really no substance to the beats. They're just loops. That's it. They're just loops. Now my beats are loops too, but loops with a purpose and loops with characteristics. So what I mean by that, I got one track up online right now. I don't even want to wake up, right? Not trying to shout my track out, but even that track has flaws in it. When I listen to it, I hear the flaws. I hear the things that need to be fixed in the instrumental. As far as like how the track rules, how long things play for, which is some things play for way too long. There's not enough switch up, change ups, things of that nature. So as I'm listening to these industry beats, I'm going down a playlist. They're just loops, literally 4-bar loops with percussion, you know, drums, kick, hi-hat, closed hat, open hat. Then there's a bass line. And that's it pretty much. Maybe a sound effect. Maybe a sound effect to add a little bit of texture, or just to throw your ears off from constantly hearing the same loop. And that's it, man. And that's a big difference between what I do and what 99.9% of these other producers do. Because I create a style which is called Ghost Wave, which is cinematic air hop, which is a sub-genre under hip-hop, which means like I do cinematic beats, like my melodies are cinematic in a sense, like the way that the melodies are, you can put them in like a film, which and there's a lot of air in it, which is a lot of reverb and stuff like that, so it's airy. That's why it's called ghost, like ghosts are like airy, like they float, right? You know, you do the percussion and stuff like that, you know, things of that nature, right? But it's the way the beats are constructed to have flow, not just a 1 bar or maybe 2 bar loop flow. No, a flow, like from the beginning to the end of the record, there has to be ins and outs. The way you go into something and come out of something, come into something, come out of something. So as I'm listening to these records online, and it's just the instrumentals, they don't have it, man. And I'm talking about, I went through like 150, maybe 200 beats straight. I'm just flipping through the playlist, and these are known instrumentals. So, man, I can't wait for my tracks to come out, because y'all gonna be surprised, because the way the instrumentals are constructed, they're not constructed in a sense of just get a 4-bar loop and let that loop the entire track. There's a lot of stuff going on in my beats to make like a sound recording, a nice composition. But it's not about me. This video's not about me. It's not about my beats, stuff like that. You're just gonna have to wait to hear the album and things of that nature. I'm still working. I'm still trying to get better. I'm progressing. I'm trying to make myself dope, you know? A legit artist. From making the beats from scratch totally, to writing my lyrics from scratch totally, hooks from scratch totally, and then coming out as a full-fledged artist. Gang Dynasty. Gang by myself. You know what I'm saying? Gang Dynasty. But it's about you producers, man. Y'all give yourself too much credit, and y'all think y'all the ish. A lot of y'all not, man. A lot of y'all not. And you might get away with it because an artist can take your beat and make a hit record. But at the end of the day, you're not as dope as you think you are. You're not that good. And there's no hate. Like what I'm saying is, right now, I'm not hating on producers. No, none of y'all. You making money, you making way more money than me, most of y'all. You getting placements, which will turn out to be either good records or album cuts or hit records or whatever. Doing way more than what I'm doing when it comes to like the business side and the money side. But when it comes to the creativity side, a lot of y'all are lacking. You get stuck in your creative process. Once you find that good loop, then that's it, man. I think us producers can dig a lot deeper, and I think the music game will be a lot further with the hit records if we was to do that. Now, I have my own way of doing it. I'm not going to just come on here to tell y'all how to do my style. I don't deal with that. I'm not that type of person who's going to like, oh, let me do a tutorial on Ghost Wave so everybody can start doing Ghost Wave. And no, create your own style. Become you. Figure it out, man. I'm not going to tell y'all what I do, but y'all need to figure out how to get out of just that loop, and keep looping throughout the whole track, and then sending your beats off. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong because y'all are making money doing it this way, right? So maybe I'm wrong, but I just see that there's a higher level. There's a higher level to music production, and I feel like a lot of these producers don't see it, don't understand it. Maybe it'll change.